Okay, working with percent. Okay, we're gonna go over this again. You're gonna spend some more time doing it because I want you to get used to working with percents. Okay, because percents are used everywhere. That's why we work with them so much. Okay, so first thing is if you have percents of certain things, okay, say something like this. If I give you how many people or what percent failed, if I say 36% failed, how many would have passed? If 36% failed,
63%.
how much?
63%.
A little bit more, 64%. Because remember, if you have two choices, they must add up to 100%. So if your question says 36% failed, how many of the 3,000 students passed? Well, what you want to do is just find 64%, okay? So that's what you're going to use. So just remember, if there's two choices, or if it's more and they give you all the choices, but it must equal 100%. So it's failed versus pass, then it's just subtract one from the 100% or figure out what adds together to make 100%.
Yeah, isn't it just 64 minus 100? That'll
Yes.
be 36, and then
Or 36 from 100 is 64. So if there's only two choices, yes, you can just do 100 minus 1 to get the other. Okay, so you will be doing some problems like that tomorrow. So look to see what they're asking in the question. If they give you the percent failed and they ask for how many passed, then you need to do the opposite percent, the one that goes with it to add to make 100%. Okay. The next thing you do is I want you to write the percent sentence. Oops, that's not how you spell that. So on the problems tomorrow, this you may have to do. This you do for all. Okay, so what I'm saying there is, let's go up to here. If 5,000 students took a test and 15% of them failed, how many passed? This is an actual number, it's not what percent passed, but how many passed.
85.
Okay, just wait, please. Okay. So that's our question. So we know we have 5,000 students, right? So think of this. The part, the whole, and the percent that we're looking for. Okay. If 5,000 students took a test, is that the part or the whole?
Part? Or no, the whole. Sorry.
That's the whole. That's the whole number of students that took it. So it's the 5,000. Okay. What is the percent? We want to know how many passed. So what percent passed?
15%.
15% of them failed. So how many passed? So what percent is the percentage of?
85.
It's 85%. So in this case, Because I wanna know how many passed, I need to know the passed percentage. And the passed percentage, here's the failed percentage. So to figure that out, I would take 100 minus the 15, and that would give me 85%, because this is the failed amount. This is the passed amount, because you either pass or you fail. You don't do one of the, you don't do anything else. You pass the test or you fail the test, okay? So our percent here is actually 85%, okay? The part is what we're looking for, right? We want to know the number that passed. That's the part. I am not ready to finish that. Okay. So the part is the question mark. That's how we're going to use it right now. And I've just changed my mind. This is what I want you to write. I will send something to her. I want you to identify the part, the whole, and the percent. Now I'm going to show you two different ways to solve these. You may do it either way, or you can practice using both. But there's always two ways to solve these problems. Percent problems. Okay, one of them is the fraction method. Where you put the part over the whole equal to the percent over 100. Okay, that's one method for doing it. That will actually give you the actual percent. You don't have to change the decimal. Okay, so that's one method. Then there's the sentence method. And what that is the part is what percent is the percent of the whole. And what we get here is this. P equals the percent as a decimal times the whole. Okay, so let's look at how to do this problem in both ways, okay? Again, there is not one right or wrong way to do this. If you like one method better, do it that way every time. If you like one method sometimes and one method a different time, that's fine, you can do that, okay? So let's just look at these. I'm gonna write them up here for this problem. We already know what the part, the whole, and the percent is. Well, we might not know what the part is yet, but you can put them in. So let's do them by the fraction method. This is the fraction method. Okay, so the part is what we're looking for. I'm going to put a question mark right there. Because it's the part over the whole, we don't know what the part is, so I'm going to put a question mark. Over the whole, which is 5,000, because I've already identified these. I've identified them right here, so we know what we're using. Okay, so for every problem, I want you to do this. Identify the part, the whole, and the percent. Okay. This will help you in the long run to identify how to solve problems. Okay. Okay, guys, do you have this written down so you can use it tomorrow? Okay. So we put the part, which we don't know, over the 5,000, which is the whole, and that's equal to 85% over 100. That's just a different way of writing percent, because a percent is per 100, because there's 100 cents in a dollar. There's 100 years in a century. there's 100 Roman soldiers in a centurion. So that's what cent means, is 100. So 85 over 100 is the same thing as 85%, okay? Then the quick way to solve this, you take, if you have, so this is the question mark, right? Okay, so you multiply this number times this number, the opposite numbers,
And you divide
Okay.
by 100.
and then you divide by 100. So you multiply, and 2 you divide, and that's by this 100 here. So it would be 85 times 5,000 divided by 100, and that will give you your answer, okay? That will actually give you what you need for an answer. That's the fraction method. Can somebody do that multiplication and division and give me the answer that they get?
85,000 over 100, or actually not, it's not, it's 85. 10,
Somebody, you can use their calculator, yes.
Oh, would it be 4,350?
4,350. That sounds about right. Okay, we multiply these two, get the answer, divide by 100, you can have your answer. Okay, so what that's saying is what? 4,350 of the students passed. Okay, because that's what we're looking for, is the part that passed. Okay, so that's putting it up that way. The next way is the sentence method. Okay. These are sometimes a little bit hard. It depends on the problem. Okay. So, in our sentence, it's the part equals the percent times the whole. Okay. This percent, you can write it as a fraction or as a decimal. It doesn't matter, okay? So in our thing right now, are you guys watching? We know the part is our question mark. So I'm just gonna put question mark equals my percent, which is 85%. I'm gonna use that as 85 or 0.85. I'm gonna put it as a decimal.
So this one we're doing on the widgets, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm showing you two methods to solve. You can use this one, method 1, or method 2. You do not have to do both on your problems. You only have to do one. This is the sentence method. So I'm doing the percent times the whole. The whole is 5,000. So there's my problem. So somebody did that in their calculator and see what you get.
Four, 42, 400, 4,250.
250, what was the last one? Was it 252?
It was those 430, 250.
Both of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it wasn't,
Do you see that no matter which method I use, I got the same answer? Okay, so I'm gonna require you to write the part, the whole, and the percent down. Then you can choose which method you wanna do. It's part over whole equals percent over 100. Or it's the sentence, the part equals the percent times the whole. Okay, I will tell you that when it's harder to use this method, okay, if you're using this method. It's harder if you do not have the whole, okay? So this method is harder if you do not have the whole, okay? Because in that case, let's just do a problem like that, okay? So you can see that method. Okay, I'm gonna write up again a problem.
Why don't you just divide the part by the
By the 100.
by the percentage? Like, wouldn't you divide the part by?
We're gonna, yes, that is true. Thank you.
Working.
Let's see. Here's our problem. Okay. We're going to identify, the first thing we're going to do is look at these three things: the part, the whole, and the percent. Okay. First of all, what is the percent we're looking for here?
30%, or like what's the other 70% or whatever?
Okay, so what does this refer to? 30%, 30 grams of fat is 30% of the total in ice cream.
Oh, so we need to find what's 70% of that.
Hmm?
I mean, 30 minus, say you do 30 minus 1. Oh, the smart, yeah.
Okay, so is the percent here gonna be 30%, or is it gonna be something 70%?
Be 30%.
It's gonna be 30%, because we're talking about fat here. And we are given how many grams of fat we have, okay? So we know this is gonna be 30%, okay? Yeah, we are given 1,500. Is that the part or the whole? Look at what you're asking, what it's asking, and think about what that says.
It's the whole.
Ezekiel,
It's the whole,
1,500 is the whole. Why do you say that?
because you're finding the percent.
I don't think so. Okay,
It's
yes.
the part, cause you
Why? Yes.
because it shows how much of
Oh,
fat
I
there is, it's showing the part of it.
It's showing the part that's fat out of the whole piece, or the whole dish of ice cream, okay? So the whole is what we don't have, but we do have the part, okay? So identify the part, the percent, and the whole. That's gonna be the tricky part. Now, we can do this both methods. Okay, so write down right now just the expression using the fraction method. And then I want you to write down the sentence. Okay, I will put them over here. Here's the fraction. It's part over whole equals percent over 100. The sentence, I keep spelling that wrong. The part equals the percent times the whole. All I want you to do is write the fractions. I don't want you to solve them. I want you to write the two different statements with the numbers in them.
Oh.
Okay, just set up the problems. So based on this fraction, put the numbers where they belong and set it up. Based on that sentence, put it over here and write it down for me. Okay. I'll talk about that in a minute.
Was it like 30 times 1500 over 100? That's the fraction.
Just wait. I just asked you to set them up.
Well, I said that's how I said no.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay, Peyton, how did you set up the fraction?
And I heard her. I'm not deaf. I put the 1,500, and then I just put a question mark at
Sure.
the bottom.
Okay,
Have the whole, and then, equals next to it. And then the percentage, which was the 30, and then over 100.
okay, there we go. Okay, that's correct. Okay, Brownson, how do I write it as a sentence? Think about what we have. The sentence says the part is equal to the percent times the whole. So how would I write that? What's the part?
1,500.
Okay, so in our equation, the part comes first, right? So it's gonna be 1,500 equals, okay,
30% of
30%, and we either have to write that as a decimal, and that's the easiest, times the
whole.
whole, which is a question mark, because we don't know what it is yet. Okay? Both of those statements are fine. This one, it's always multiply the two that are across from each other that kind of make this part of the x. So you multiply those two always. So you would multiply 1,500 times 100, and then you divide by the oddball. This is the odd person out, or the odd number out. Okay, so it will be 30. Okay, because it's not paired with another number. Okay, so we match up the two that are paired and divide by the one that's odd out, and then you get that multiplication and you get your answer. Okay, I'm not looking for answers right now. Okay, this one's a little bit different. How would I solve that problem? Yes. I'm going to change this to an X right now, because that's what we're looking for.
Oh, for the sentence one?
Yes.
So what I did, wait, you're trying to figure out the whole, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what I did is I took the part divided by the percent and it got me the whole.
Yes. The reason why is we're trying to find out 0.3 times what?
And it gives me 5,000.
Yeah, and so to get that answer, I need to divide 1,500, because if I divide 1,500 by 0.30, I know what I multiplied this by, because division and multiplication are inverse operations. And if I wanna know what's multiplied by 0.3 to get 1500, I take 1500 and divide it by 0.3, and that will give me what it is. So either of these sentences or ways of doing this is exactly the same. You'll get the same answer. Okay? The key is going back and from your problem, identifying these three parts, because these tell us how to set it up once we know what those three parts are. Okay? So tomorrow when you're working on the worksheets, you will be identifying the part, the whole, and the percent, and then you will set it up one of these ways. Okay? Makes sense? And you'll have to do that on separate paper. There's not enough room on the worksheets, I'll just tell you that. Okay, so, okay. That is all we have for today.